There once lived a queen in a land made of ice and snow. She was beautiful but cold-hearted. No one dared to approach her because they say she put any who came too close under a death spell, stealing their warm breath and turning it to frost that encases them in an eternal winter slumber. They say the queen's touch is deadly. But there may be more to the story than meets the eye. This is the Snow Queen. A long time ago in a faraway land, a young girl named Kaya lived with her parents in a small cottage surrounded by a thick pine forest. Even though their cottage was small, Kaya never felt bad. Her parents loved her very much. And even when times were tough, they always found ways to make the best of what little they had. Kaya especially loved spending time with her mother, who would tell her stories about mythical heroes and heroines who went on daring adventures. As a result, Kaya grew up to be an adventurous girl who loved exploring the forest. One day while playing, Kaya stumbled upon a clearing where she saw something that made her stop in her tracks. It was a girl about Kaya's age sitting on a nearby log. Although Kaya had never seen this girl before, she had a feeling that they must have met before in her dreams. The girl looked back at Kaya and smiled warmly, then gestured for Kaya to come closer. Hesitantly, Kaya obliged, and the two girls quickly became friends. The mysterious girl told Kaya her name was Lila, and that she had been waiting for Kaya to find her. The two spent the rest of the afternoon talking and laughing together as if they had known each other forever. And when the sun began to set, they promised to meet again the following day. The next day, however, when Kaya arrived at the clearing, she found Lila nowhere to be seen. Disappointed, Kaya called out Lila's name, but only the sound of the wind answered her. Day after day, Kaya returned to the clearing, but she never saw Lila again. Just when Kaya thought she might never see her friend again, she heard a voice behind her say, "Looking for someone." Kaya turned around to see an old woman standing behind her. Startled, Kaya asked the woman how she had gotten there without her hearing. The woman only smiled mysteriously and asked Kaya if she wanted to see her friend again. Intrigued, Kaya asked the woman where Lila was and how she could get to her. The woman replied that she knew where Lila was, but warned Kaya that the road ahead would be fraught with danger. Still, Kaya was determined to find her friend, so she asked the woman for directions anyway. The woman then pointed to a dark and narrow path leading deeper into the woods and told Kaya that it would lead her straight to Lila. After thanking the woman, Kaya took the path that led her deep into the darkest part of the woods. As she walked, the trees grew darker and colder until they seemed to close in around her like a dark tunnel. Suddenly, the trees parted and revealed a sight that took Kaya's breath away. Before her lay a majestic palace made entirely of glistening ice and snow. Sunlight streamed through the windows, giving the whole place a magical glow. But the beauty of the palace did little to warm the coldness that seemed to permeate everything. As Kaya approached the palace, she noticed a group of people frozen in various shapes and sizes. Some were lying down, others were reaching out as if trying to grab onto something. But the most disturbing sight was that of a man hanging upside down from a tree. His face was contorted in a silent scream, and his eyes stared blankly into the sky. Kaya felt a chill run down her spine, and could unhelp but wonder what had happened to these people, and what secrets this icy palace held. Just then, a man ran out of the palace, and Kaya could unhelp but notice his clothes were similar to the ones the man hanging from the tree had been wearing. The man spotted Kaya and beckoned for her to follow him. He led her through the trees and eventually to a small opening where Kaya could see a group of people huddled around a fire. The man explained that they were travelers who had also come to the palace looking for Lila, but had been trapped there by the Snow Queen. The travelers had tried everything to free themselves from the Snow Queen's clutches, but nothing worked. Just when Kaya thought things couldn't get worse, the ground beneath her feet began to shake violently. The travelers screamed in terror and ran for cover as a monstrous wolf emerged from the tree line. Its fur was as white as snow, its eyes glowed an eerie blue, and its teeth glistened like shards of ice. The monster lunged at the travelers, knocking them down and pinning them to the ground. In a panic, Kaya ran for her life, but the monster was too quick for her. It grabbed her by the leg and pulled her toward it, growling menacingly. Just when all hope seemed lost, a figure emerged from the tree line and confronted the monster. The creature snarled and lunged at the newcomer, but he easily dodged its attack and retaliated by slashing at its paws with his sword. Enraged, the monster let go of Kaya and charged at the man, but he was no match for the newcomer's sword. With a final slash, the man dismembered the beast, ending its reign of terror. Relieved and grateful, Kaya turned to thank the man, and that's when she saw his face. It was the same man who had hung from the tree, but now he was alive and more handsome than she could have ever imagined. He had kind eyes, tousled dark hair, and a charming smile that could melt the coldest of hearts. But Kaya couldn't help but notice the sadness that seemed to linger in his eyes. When he learned that Kaya was looking for Laya, he told her that he knew where she was being held, but warned her that the Snow Queen was a formidable opponent. Despite the danger, Kaya was determined to save her friend, and the handsome stranger offered to help her. Together, they ventured deeper into the forest, following a winding path that led them to the edge of a frozen lake. In the middle of the lake was a small island that appeared to be shrouded in mist. As they got closer, Kaya realized that the mist was actually a group of people who had been transformed into swans. With a sad cry, they flapped their wings and tried to fly, but their bodies were too heavy, and they crashed back down into the lake. Kaya and the mysterious man exchanged worried glances, knowing that the Snow Queen's magic was strong, and her hold on those she captured was unbreakable. But they had to try anyway. Suddenly, the stranger stopped and turned to Kaya. He confessed that he had once been trapped in the Snow Queen's palace himself, and that she had taken his memories away. Kaya was surprised to learn that the man she had rescued from the monster was the same man she had seen in the palace. But she couldn't help but feel a sense of admiration for him. Despite everything he had endured, he had remained kind and helpful. Kaya knew that if she wanted to defeat the Snow Queen, she would need his help. And as they stood there, the frozen lake rippling around them, they made a promise to help each other and save those trapped by the Snow Queen. After rescuing the Swan People, Kaya and the mysterious man made their way to the Snow Queen's palace. As they neared the entrance, the man turned to Kaya and revealed his true identity. He was the prince of a neighboring kingdom, and he had been cursed by the Snow Queen to serve her for all eternity. Kaya was shocked, but she refused to let it stop her. She was determined to break the curse and free the prince and all those trapped by the Snow Queen. Together, they entered the palace and faced many challenges, including illusions that tested their strength and speed, as well as hordes of monsters that tried to stop them. But through it all, Kaya and the prince persevered. Finally, they reached the throne room, where the Snow Queen sat on her icy throne. She was even more beautiful than Kaya had imagined, but there was a sadness in her eyes that tugged at Kaya's heart. The Snow Queen explained that she wasn't evil, but had been cursed by an evil witch to live in eternal winter. She had taken the memories of those she had encased in ice, just to protect them from the pain of losing her. Kaya realized that the Snow Queen wasn't the monster everyone had made her out to be. She had simply done what she thought was best, even if it meant hurting others. Touched by the Snow Queen's story, Kaya decided to help her break the curse. The two girls joined hands, and together they broke the Snow Queen's curse. The Snow Queen was finally free. And as the curse lifted, the people who had been trapped in the palace awoke to find themselves freed from the ice. They were overjoyed to be alive and to be reunited with their friends and family. In the end, Kaya and the prince rode side by side on a horse. As they traveled to the neighboring kingdom where they would rule together, as they looked back at the palace, they knew that the Snow Queen was finally free, and that the people of her kingdom would finally know warmth and happiness again. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share it with your friends. Till next time, take care.